Now NDC ene ewo abemu ntino utimi hu se de omo ye comfortable a bia ekoyi edema wo mo na esanse MPP nso beto aba na omo yi frankatuni ato omo bo ase a prepare no almost 3 years edi animu na 2028 omatimi ababeji 2 million ntino ama NDC amanyoko no nso use strategies bi a omode confuse just delegate ni womo a omba akoto aba yi frankatuni di ama MPP amanyoko no na ya ajantoa presidential staffer ono nso so no odina no ato sansem bi a chesensem bi a okeka na o try say obe ye nyama bi antis bi just to create confusion in the minds of the delegate. Dr.Oko Boye say there be mentra ho ema untumi enye sa ewo manim ha say Dr.Oko Boye ene no de boy ani gidigidi a otimi arabish nsem bi a opese ka odi to delegate anim ene de ekeka ho nyina enya asem keto na san komo twetwen no lawyer Osebonsu ena ene omo atwetwen a enya asem keto mepese ye bagi bre na yensoso yatie nsem a ekoso e studios ni bi na yedi adwenkyere ato comment section.
Mature as a boxing is a trade of assault, punishment, and sometimes death. But the trade is carried by men of peace.
Yes.
Boxing is a trade of assault, punishment, and sometimes death. But remember that trade is carried only by men of peace. Boxing is an arena of violence, but the actors are men of nobility. See the contrast.
Yeah.
If you come across Azuma Nelson, you find what we define or mean by a calm person, a disciplined person, a humble person. But this same man in the ring,
different person altogether,
would hit and hit and hit and might kill unless the referee tells him it's enough.
Yeah.
Why does it happen like that? He is not a murderer. Just that to show that he's an athlete who is prepared and can win, he must continue to hit until the referee tells him you've won. That is how politics is. Politics is a trade where there must be fierce competition before we will know who will take a particular seat, because more often there are more people than the seats available.
Yeah.
That's how politics is. And so me catch worried me say impossible say we'll go for a contest to choose a leader without people trading some shots and some jabs. But even in boxing, there is a behavior where you are referee for us come. If you repeat this, you are out of the game. It means even in the arena of punishment and violence, the rules still exist. So it's not every punch that is a foul. But some punches, when they go below the belt, they can deduct points. And Oko Boye mean can to say competition in Tino assembia ultimate but the American say say more shit. No, I can't say my true way. No, say we have my way job. A necessary evil that comes with the contest. A necessary evil. Now, Sebi Presby Church, Mami ko papa ko say time Drew Crown before moderator because the election inti ubeti kakra obi kakra amu de nti say politics nanso also for your own child obeti also for say the name of Christ by Brenna members in bi obeti also for say yi oba onche obeti
yes
also for say okono wa pentra bompa ma wako obeti sana nipa yeti enti. But the good news ni say competition makes the masses better off. Competition sebi o je kufo ano ho ju say ye papa ebi obi amichia no medika men ko fie this year was me report me obi ye papa je kufo hwese na oti me hwe videos na time all compete Professor Dubois Ahimu. That was 96 obi ushana me see hey why am for video one che ma fi say ye fa no ofie say say na oju a wo ye be ma grandma wo fie nyansa nti ba ne beti akonya so obi sana na eti baby je ku for me campaign team e ma MPP ya na on kofo mu other side o a mo che ne nti ma ye ntu makufo, but ultimately obedani president no omo wo kuo no mu no nyame adom omunya bibi yeye e ma bi mu so mo outside cool as in Ghanaians
Yeah.
enya no mfa so obi enti media me wo GDA say this is a precursor to other things you wish for. Oh, yes, Christo. Ye nyina yes o ya jikwa.
Yes.
Ebia say obi kwan bi wo ha wotumi gini pankwa with umoja ehwe without death. Anka maybe God would have chosen that path. But there was violence and murder before we had eternal peace, which comes in salvation and redemption. Is that not it? Obi, me can't be say this world. If you enter this world, no matter your trade, now usia Bible kakra ebwa pa, because these are deep. These are things that are therapeutic. Emma we calm. Unse those time me call election na. Sometimes me share me see ne be see. Oh, pineapple drink. Enemy banner. Yedi mama. Pineapple. Oh, pineapple ni carrot. Usha carrot ni cry chain. Obi. Obi.
So onom ne kakra. Onom ne.
Kakra obi. Na o shesa na mitra o sha bibia family so me jina o baba obi she ba family so obi so me kai there was a time I saw some betrayers ebi mu a my ye ne mama mo me hwe ne me sie ne mama tina odin and a word bi ba me o say Joseph before he took the throne, first of all no he was sold to Nkrofo onimo obi okoye ti say servant obi fie but no dey na prison kan inti me hwe na me say o media no prison ye den enkan na mama ni like my calm mo me say oh me so ye de me ko ebi but luckily for me no e share no yan for prison enkan. So the point I'm making is that sometimes the good things of this world, you know, you have to pass through something very difficult. Now, Mrs. Akambi said, we must be thinking of reorganizing the party. A house cannot reorganize when the head is missing. Any house that tries to reorganize when the head is missing, you can do all the reorganization. Yeah. If you get a bad head, you have to start the reorganization. Exactly.
There been a
it's a cycle.
Now some more executives political party then be join flag. Political party executive every person make so Baba be deposit the political party there or chairman general secretary and they have it. It's nyafe number 5 head.
Yo, obi unse.
Yes.
Human beings nipa so adibako a emma ye survive the brofo no adaptability. Obi, if you don't adapt, you will die. In fact, history, when you study science, biology, living things, the reason why Homo sapiens nipa human beings are surviving dinosaurs. If you see the remains of dinosaur, remains a dinosaur is where the size of, let's say, some are as big as Jubilee House. Some are big, arrange more thousands of years. They are bigger than this building, but they've gone extinct. Why is it that dinosaurs, which are 100 times bigger than us, have vanished, but we are there? Yeah. We adapt for survival. Adapt as a if anyone was saying a political party must adapt. Yahoo say, even if the paper says that the chairman is the leader, once there is underground competition for who ultimately will come and carry the flag and lead, you better adapt and make sure that the leader is obvious than a simmering leadership underground. Enunti na President John Mahama obaye or tutuniama 1 year kwantu emu no na ebi mo start position omo until page 4 from Samunya Bozaka. That's how human beings are. Human beings start to adapt against what is ahead. Enti obi demi kan say competition na akoso no, the one who benefits ultimately is the masses, as in the delegates, the party people. Just as May elections, the one who benefits is the citizen. Whoever thought, say Ghana, you better do purpose so about political party media to me say we can pay for the school fees of all our kids at high school. It was competition that made it possible. Because President Kufuor was in the wilderness, he had a conviction that we can do this and sold it until people said, we'll give you the opportunity to see. And when President Mahama realized that the people are comfortable with the arrangement, he says, as for me, I'll even give you secure funding. Many people have said things, but that is history. Now the same people are telling you, we can do it better. Competition makes the people better off. And now that President Mahama has started paying first year in university. Don't be surprised if another leader tells you that when you give it the opportunity, the next 3 years too will be paid for. Competition always makes the people better, and it is competition that will make you the leader or potential leader think outside the box, find innovation to pay for the cost that is ahead. Enti nyame na ehihye bibia, enti enya ye ho abotere. After some few days, ye benya the leader. Na nipa sa na yeti say enya leader ne pe sa na nyame boy. Everybody gravitates towards the leader. People in President John Dramani Mama in about 4 or 5 were competing before 2016. 2012 time President Mills win. Over time, they were gravitating. And you say because the gravity was on him. Into all ambitions for the future, who say when I'm born, I'm in Befano, and then Joshua Labi the name for President Oma, the name for Noaba GCB. Niama bia washisha obeboa ni busuafo ni party fo ni krom nyama nyina no afa president Oma office ama akopie wo GCB. Me am senior brother former NHIS boss
Sylvester.
Yes, at a point also also president Fatano Wakosku Kama is a fine gentleman or computer no or the president Oma nya enemies but free so no so betimi aye echie when no realize say party for any for I so mo come ama over time he didn't compete him. Today he is the boss of Exim Bank. Yeah. So tell you go mama kwa show say Kopa Sylvester cho nyama no ho na. So Obi, one thing I met pay a party for acho makawa hada the leadership of affirmative action, how do you call it, affirmation. And the practice of affirmation is the best tool to use in politics, especially internal politics. What is it? It is the leadership that stresses on the positives or good part of people and closes eyes on the negatives, not because they don't exist, but the person being praised for his positives would realize ultimately that he has to work on his negatives. Obi, NDC for Adibakwa, me adma omuwa ye party for enim and say when all is said and done, omubo omwadi hu bain. Hey, Obesia NDC leader, sabi your party for the nature fache mi obi. Wo dey fa excuse me. Ebi anipa no obupa. But usiomwa, o mente do mu ni se nipa no kwa hu sada. Denti no mu yesa. Ye here openi ana leader dey akọ warehouse. Niama warehouse no mu leader no wada o. O wabu ondidi ye once ya bie warehouse no obia o ye papa. Obenya ni dey akọfi. Enti ade na o pri I can say papa we cry sometimes Oceana I said there neni enda ho ni ma o kasa no na warehouse obi fu abere abeji. They are good at that. Me kai one day MPP ni be frame me or constituency. We obi amaboa no mama no industrial machine me twa ni basco fi ni we bebre o frame ya. Doctor me gina park bisu na me frame no. MPP delegate o. There yesi teshira le jokuku ade wo na wabomodin leaders abana mpa in this for no can answer problem ba kunu say ni mu fia wo na me say oh na me fia me wo na me ye ni amana mo ba o beji ni amana mo bedidi wo ni amanya me fie oh e dey say o ma me fie na wo ka no e o ye wia ye pe bi a wo da anaju e bi a e be wo say ho na wo da obi
so concern no
e na me ka che ni say o ka wi enzo say o doctor me ba school fees na because may need problem I'll pay the school fees but mama we juma kakra kokrom wo teshin po no ho bisa ye party for 10 say o hwehwe ebia current MP Benjamin Aiku sata no abeji seat in 2021 no nipa no frame bisa nkofo tese open fie ebia wo ewia party for no bisa NDC for say omunche ebia papa no wo ewia obehun any anaju 1 am ebia obetu Mantini can be for 1 month. Offer back no see doctor me paucho. For me boni biache. Me say boni ben na wa ye. Didn't you know kasa from boni cheno? Kasa na odi nam no. Say kasa. Ah yet say odi only accessible. Me wa in this phone na ojiro mu ntema wo kasa wo party ba no. Omo kasa omo papa no omo ni be oti. But because omo nim de yetimi to me yen ntino, they talk in a way that protects their own obi. Mesre party for and the President Kufado can be very powerful. See, nobody, your loyalty to your candidate or the power supporting cannot be bigger than the party. And Kophobia framing, Oko Boye, and so far on declare, and ya tise also co chairman, yeah, okay, fine, but enti say declare. Obi, those days I mean experience, you know. Me down can women to me down. But over time, you learn that no individual is more important than the party.
Than the party.
Obi, now say Ekufo papa preoccupé. But Ekufo and the pen and share say me politics are. Akaba now call retirement. Say who's what this age call retirement. So you realize that people come and go. Leaders will come, but if your loyalty is to the party, you don't ultimately serve only the party. You end up even serving anyone the party produces. And the mesre obia or call for competition, you know. Obi delegates are got to about close to 250,000.
Asempa FM.
Now, only the entire research, you can't just say the bigger the sample size, the better. The assumption is that in the multitude of the people in decision making, the chance of error is slim. Obi, simple arithmetic. Same for 250,000, and I go take a decision. Same for Numina and Emfa. Obi, that I catch so munina share no more than 50%. I mean, I'm happy. I learned it's in 50 plus 1. More than 50% say, Nana Jantua. Even if you think you have some issues about her, over 250,000, if you divide, you are talking 125,000. You can't have 125,000 fools. Definitely, there is something overwhelming they found about her. And that should be our comfort. Say the people going to vote are not 100. Because you can have 99 fools amongst 100 men. Because the sample size is small. But when you have been told that it is 250,000 people, 1,000 though, not 2,500, 250,000 going to queue and decide, you should know that by the grace of God, the decision they make is likely to be the voice of God. And that is why no wonder when MPP queued and voted for J. Kufuor some years ago, ultimately he became the president. That is why no wonder when Ghanaians chose Atamils in the NDC, ultimately he became a president. And that is why no wonder President Mahama Akufo-Addo became president at one point in time. My point is very simple. Whoever the people choose, as the delegates choose, will seek the blessings of God on the person, and will also put our physical strength behind the person, so that I dream poor all my Ghana for no. Say nyame pe say to me mba nsema obeti media ba the people's disposal. As what the mean sister Nana Yaka said na obi our issue on hono. If you take Moses, all the leaders in history, only one was without fault, and because he was not a human being. He was a spirit in flesh. That's Christ. Obi, into Christ market scheme no eso. Unse into the ebi mu pay Abraham no because hono benya short force ka na we dey cover on yama. Obi. Unse
Moses was no anger issue.
Moses. Onu kan kasa so. Into na go on purpose no na ka yen say obi e man spokesperson. Obi, o show obi to say David. Into the ebi mu so e no ba ko share ono. Is it David there? David obeti ma ko 1,000. Now so who na ya wan show me say na oti. So the point I'm making is that in the history of man, all leaders, all significant people have had their issues because they are men. But more often than not, the strength and the grace they carry is what speaks for them. Say for today, in fact, even your city president on your angel, but it is on the basis of the strengths and affirmative action. Negative that much. We are depending on the strengths for our goodness and for our forward march.
Oko kase you ni so bebo Muhammad din dia na.
That's Muhammad fault. Not the Muhammad only fault.
Me pacho ye. Minimization be our fault, but your fault no. Woman no cost through too much. Uni nipa ne dili. It's my fault no cost through too much. Into ba be can steady baby I was steady na men go forward nko can say because me tia.
Take a fault fan call for.
There be Mahama won call election. Me pese busa so obi me so call election na. Mahama can go for you. Me pese bi bisa say o can go for you na.
Me pese me can obi Mahama ni 14 small minimum.
And
you power ni so. Obi in fact say no nyame adom 2028 mama nka ye opponent me pekwa me kase mama na mo no no nso onye boni bia only fault bia na obi so the point I'm making is say usually the you see ye judge obiara by force ebenye bi. In fact, the Bible says that woe unto you
if all men
speak well of you. Yeah, because a man is a man. Inti the American say
inti obi woe unto you because we say maintain who hwe ni woe unto you. Oh say maintain who want
somebody. So a manager
that be maintain somebody bia. No bia ka bia papa say obi di ompeka say woe unto you. Obi woe unto you. And I make say maintain who hwe na woe unto you. Me so treat me fine. One of the few people who treat me fine in Ghana. Inti woe unto you and on work no. Say no bia ka ho asem papa de na woe unto you obi.
Obi, mesre. We are one family.
Sure.
Me nuamo a me ebi a me office share Roman Rich corner bi. Now one guy one of the security guys now one day share me say doctor. Me say hello. I say doctor. I'm a delegate to. Me say really? Say yes. See a G party you doctor. Me say really? What's about you want? So tell me a Kennedy supporter. You know, so anytime you want to see number one, na like yes. There's excitement. But they be catch and say, "Kai say, you one people." And say we election now. Wherever it goes, let's come together. Me huna me treating with contempt because ebia me pay particular direction. And I mean catch and say be original no say BBC na enye ho a Johnny Free Party no. So mesre as for your opponents here is natural. Omo nyanka omo di petrol kakra po be ka yademu. But you see when you see your friend going through something, don't laugh, learn. I know Malcolm X, I think. See when your brother
Louis Farrakhan
right? Yes. Yeah. See when your brother goes through something.
Mami minutes no.
Me bonya me nyina nse me ba be mi ka say obi wo fort kakra. Say me see no sa no ho yeso. Still no asema ho. In conclusion no. Yes. Look, Obi, I'll be brutally frank. Having a political party is like preparing a good meal. The more ingredients you have, the better. Yeah. Now, me can say Dr. Oko as a very straightforward and honest person in my political life, there are things in Kennedy Japan that I desire say nyamin for mami.
Sure.
Obi. Maka was studio hada. Me can wait so that our party no more. Even if only the camper, susukasa tiano, because some of those things will be needed for the battle in the future.
Sure.
Whether we like him or not, based on some of his issues, he is a very bold, courageous, and fearless person. Obi. And in politics, there are people that based on how Nyamasinu, you need some fearless people to tell you that, hey, stand up, you can become president tomorrow. Stand up. Even President Obama, there were times I'm sure there were people in his camp who told him that stand your grounds, you can come back, you are not finished. Obi. If you look at someone like Bawumia, I say it all the time. When I watched the Supreme Court case and saw the cross-examination from Asiedun Ketia, and I saw his demeanor under that tense environment, I'm like, wow, I want to be like this man. Because that's not how God created me. Me yes. Anka uri ekwana mi yi ano. One sha eche no bia ka dem say oko nya botenema.
Na nimu nchire o.
Obi. So the point I'm making is that there are times when you need people who are calm, because that is what you need to overcome the situation. Dr. Bawumia has a lot of good things. Look at Brutum, Obi. I want the audio when he was trying to connect how a country can transform. Yeah. That only the American say, oh Papa, we say when we need flag bearer, we are making lobby. Not that the chief of staff. Someone should sit at a particular place where he can help coordinate everybody's actions for us to transform. Deep, very deep man. And the way only the company to kasa bonu to kasa so convention we are not then you don't understand what is happening. Only honest with yourself. Look at Mr. Brian. Obi. Now only Brian Obi so one pair.
Only me ana.
Oh, no, I mean, yes, general.
Because me dem Obi.
and send me yes. No papa grow Ghana books mo. Udi obi on fina mu yedru. Ye bi mo na fe na trading obi. Fe kura na trading. First people are about away. Oh so obi sebi wan kobo kro no e na wa establish the enterprise. Obi sa on buso mo anka warehouse ejuma mi ko Germany nyina do masters. Anka obi e hu ya. Obi for 1 hour ko ye ejuma na one time na mi ko ejuma warehouse na shoe no emu yedru. Omo se no na wo say enhye. Ti se na mi na mu ye mi ya no one day na mi ko share Nike trainers so that me nanti am bre. This supervisor will be going and say first is slows German what is wrong? No me say there's nothing wrong. See then a shoe shoe no is not correct. See before problem pa only say we do only back to the old heavy shoe. Kaka 1.5 years na the point I'm making is that Sebi the enterprise I was setting, you have to have some ingenuity to build an enterprise. He might have his own weaknesses, but resources first. No, me free. Akuma papa na me di ba politics. Timi ye me na me dream business ni sika. And obi friend one day said Dr. Bra. Politics. Omo mai ahonde a ye di tie mu ekoba a resourceful people. Enti they are like twins. You work with them. Just that Sebi. Me ma unko bibi boni, but only opportunity otimi so eden eboano obi. The resourceful person is important for the party. Now who can say tiano yeno no china who do some place now you be the biaba you can't just say your assessment say no better alcohol. So all I'm saying is that the negatives will create more enemies. So who about Dr. Baumia speak to his strengths and Makawada show us how his strength can help us win power. 2028. Now me wo GD say kono sa atamfo ni beji ene. Of course Mrs. Dawenya atamfo, but your opponents can be happy say oh ejadem now so china we will smile last. That is our prayer.
Dr. Bernard Okoboy and Yatin Kano Ekosi Saints Higher Sempa FM Nana ya Tempem Jantua any Okoboy any anyone AD and Como 0548443523 0548443523 or messages will be to me Eddie Afaso Abrain we say Obi, can Honorable Okoboy clarify when the Peace Pact book was distributed to the aspirant? Was it prior to today to go through, or did they receive it today? And Okoboy, you know, basically, there was one kind of elections committee, you know, and there is an elections committee in charge. But I think what happened relative to Kendi, you know, Rocky had the message by trying to explain what really happened. I'm told, sir, delegate Ekotrabani 211,849. 211,849. That's quite a number. Kindly confirm from Nanaya Jantua if she's officially a member of the NDC now. This is all I want to know so that we can situate her analysis very well. Godi Ewotema. Nana?
I'm a Ghanaian serving Ghana. The almost say as a me examples.
Question.
Me say as me
officially a member of the NDC.
Also as a Beka. Ono na di be shemenu. Dem be ono na di be shemenu say as a Beka. I am saying
guy is a lawyer with 20 years.
As I said, me cannot situate me. Him not be situate me.
Say confirm whether you are officially whether you remember.
Me confirm, man.
This is all he wants to know,
so that he can situate me. How can you situate? I'm speaking the truth, me pacho. Asema me can be a me ma evidence, a dictation na me because in some man crofwa can me repeat it's dictation. In nipa na was me lie no me pacho. You so lie na attach our lie. Obapa sa adwasa for no so lie. In some da ho de make nyina almost me boa. Bra ho asema me kan me boa. Me moa. Kennedy asema da me kan me see ankanya na am no didi nkrofo. Kennedy is great. But in some no ke Kennedy. Oti ase onim so be dru ha say I maybe kan sem ni bu ho anka. So they meche no. And they me chantro. Kennedy is good, but in some more keka udi di matemen. Me say we di matemen. Some more on printed words. Ma fa nyase me fa ne say o kan wi ana ne refi. But you be ana be fa ne sa. What did I make? So whoever said I'm lying, no crane mum na make can because there's evidence to it is evidential. Because on one party for who will be a once a man, but me and so you meet.
Yes.
Until we also you meet them busas when your professional license are Macaboni. So I'm not lying. Me chantro into obi and who bet me a casame chantro. Anna. Obi catch me.
Unchantro.
Debbie one caso you meet.
Okay.
At a point one caso you meet. On one caso baby the delivery cramp or baby can manifest one caso you meet. That they are watched throughout. People so be said now we see Opacho Obama made only license account. I can't say. Now Oko Boye say me catch us MPP phone. Omon pa de pa.
Obi say Obi today Nana is looking so beautiful. Power sweet ampa. Kofi Trematin, baby friend Kofi go. And then I say the wow show when you ma the 20 was space in there. Oh. Yes,
me share space in this meet me man here fashionable. Yes, I will venture me.
Yeah.
Obi, the point is that
yes.
The point is that when we say Oko Boye say we ya dear pa wa being it the whole na dream the whole sama or kind people form pa de pa. It's just on no confirm me say do chum na me can't say papa no ye papa.
Ona say okanu ma papa all the other.
The ontimasi o educhum na me kan me ntwantro because o tie no a.
Sure.
But because say one pa de papa nti was onye chief of staff. I don't know do ntimi ma me leader. Oh baby pisao. Adenti wa kase wa so ko ka se ma na chese wunim se wo ye doctor wonyo bia wo yida dwimu do wosi woti da bi adenti na wo kase wo pushi se onu konkon ye fi asema da bi asema me kan ye no wa confirm me say do twumye because wo say utie nu tim so obi otimi hihye Ghana say no e pe obi otimi bua hihye niema mal niema koye na reset no agenda to forever after 19 what into what omo pa de papa me ka mo si me didin krofo be ka mo si me nka no kore Okuboy na confirm me say dutwum ne kasa wo be kasa wo ha no ayeden otimi hu se nipa no wan ko obi ade na akeka na ni dutwum de wo ka se ne ka ntimi ntwantro
ona okanu ma papa ken okanu ma papa ba o me
ba wan ka ne ma but enye ne ma pakeke we de wo si otimi hihye kuro ono ane kan yo oti awa ntibi wo so hihye kuro ti se puzzle ono ane kan onye menam ka wo nya MPP panyi we di minister da
na see me man chief of staff
the who say so who say chese o pa de penti o so mo pa de penti o so chief of staff ni wa ni pe usu ni pa so ni madwuma ade the chief of staff na ade be man na chese de me kan man kan bone obi me kan bone ankofo so obi se ni osi pe masem kofo ye ho ya o de bi o mo se o ma me kan ba o pe masem uni wa no mo tia me
and a video timing
o de me poasem pa into obi anto aso they say dey na yeko
say any other business me I'm sorry
and they say tradition ya na wo ho
yeah ken dey
ade na menti ase
wonte dey ade
dey ye binum ensem ne ye bebre ken wo mra fie na suntwa
say am Ghana by a file extradition
me pacho you say we can
yes
pacho and me decide dey we come Gabi
okay
Gabi misro mauni ane mra fie manimre fi aniema ekoso ne nyefe se me kwa me hu second ho ice for interview enyefe they say camp ade mu usuro onye bema se me kwa makwa akoda yoko danje makwa akoda bie na madasi adi me kwa me yoba me kwa ya mkosu kire ne kwa wanfi me doti ase nti se wo tam aso a bra de hin na usuro se ye friend ne sen ayi Kumasi mi nu e kwa friend ne sen buntumi so court wa phone there so wako uhu na wa phone
wuntumi afon
no phone ye wa phone nso so ko face court no won fe onyane so wuntu e dey die to phone so
ade o say na accounting na mo dem nsa to so
obi hwe asem we to a usi unyanhu bida
poya no say
mi say
me ni mumu kra
me ti jaja obi asem we to a be fon pa o ti ase but nyame de obefam odu betwa ye nyina yakomuda me de ken ye na yanim guase se former fine e de beti no ti abrochire ma ice for be fa ken oforiata why a data bank wako school we Yale wako achimota school frifie e de benti boni bia why bia brabe face ukuro ni e de benti na ken guga na nimu asesa se former finance minister me etwetwen sa
na boni ben na why SML the end the work for
me kasa abrochire ho na SML be face SML no be face
the case is in court.
I am saying say brabe tenase ne kan asem said the nam call ye ko nya ne no wo be
oba
no so mo se wo ba
why in the can
o say attorney general can so about be serving the sentence say so there's no need for you to run obi me say time MPP buy no me kwa broche minim se me maka che oda yes me kwa America because in se mana metiti na ehu meti we frefrem ke cancel pitch me se me koso Ghana me din wo news mu ade me ka je me man say I'm going home because minim se me nye hwe se maye bibia yemfa me nkonko face eventually no bibia ni ho oti dem miche ba Nyankopon wo we a ono so ye na ade nti ken mi hu ade ko nti aka ni gu ni hu ani masesa it is not nice at all as is we a common criminal o my do mo kwa ice no unye the type of person as alcohol so why should you do this? Why should you disgrace your family, disgrace the country? Former finance minister, you don't have to do this. Ken minenanka the next available flights I'll come home. Obian ho be yen bibia wo yes obe ye do kwa maybe e kwa interrogate you ye be ma be crampa bail we a former finance minister
yeah bail condition nso so na we nya wadem be 1 month
oh dey be na wo dem kaka na me ma nem ndi dem no suro I would dem kaka na wo fi okwa bi kwa benya sympathy a former finance minister oh ndi na ye den nya ye process ayeko
lawyer say ade ba kwa ama omo twene se omusuro se oba onya fair trial e wo
Ghana ho na nya fair trial MPP time crampo nipa ko court wo crampo the dog ice for se wo nya review obi o yare credit no ko prison o me pese be bose de bia wonim
okay
NCA 14 one wasn't well but he dey wo ko prison o ti de jawo brother in law nti me ka minim de maker ne yiri bresa de bia no okọ nsawam no aba okọ nsawam no aba e de otimi kọ be 3-4 times ti ko twhwe ni kunu opo obi kura we area ho a no o handan wo eyi krom ho. So these are things but the only thing is me can say as a political class ye nya disu nyansa so wo officer be accountable you can't say mati. Now what Ken is doing it's not nice.
Now okay so office on your account na je wo bu an for that.
There be person chesa
charge one ho aye SML.
There be say na nya charge. Nti say you charge ba be yi ano. Say you take krampo ne say ba be yi ano ne enhwe ade a wudi sika na ya. You have to come. Because to be very honest it can do all na efe. E dey be no gu ani masesa ano.
O se jumper bi no.
Whatever you are wherever you are not an ICE candidate. Otimasi wo fie wo Ghana wo ye adwuma why a finance minister come and answer. What are you afraid of? Nana do nkanche no no mre fie. Nana do te se ne papa. Won kanche no mre fie because ho na otene de nkaku etene che yo ntwe ticket wo mre fie.
Omre fie me den.
No me den say awon former finance minister ye se bra wasem ho court. Na ye den. We na bi nsi da. Ayi wanwu your friend say ya ba ibo man fa papa ya anko court amana anko former deputy finance minister Victor Salome bo anko wu Kwam pepra wanko dem ene Kwam pepra wu na wawu Kwam pepra ko dem mu kokora mpo na akokosra no kwa mimi nuano no nuano Kwam pepra ukosra no prison kura wunti bi nso nimu because one day me to bro man no kura mi si ni ye bro no ho se no kondo bro mi yam o man pray ma man yi ho. Yes.
I want some women.
I want some. That be a second D.
Oh, I want to call second.
Yeah, the name Papa.
Kwame Pepra.
What are you talking about? Yes, into know what is it? The certain is on one conform Campepra a year so minia on the Kufuor side. And so now Kufuor na president is here. Into what is it? A debate in a can know what to say. I don't know one daba. Can above every human being in this country. I don't think they are nice. I have to be very honest with you. Because a former finance minister of this republic as Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, with our sovereignty, is not an ICE candidate. You guys, it's not an ICE candidate. Why never can be a nemra enye? What's Nkrumah the finance minister almost 7 years? Odi yako DD, odi yako IMF, odi yako whatever, obi any bibi. Obi anya. So why will anybody, and do you think said the security of this nation will let anything happen to Ken? Most of the people going to court, omunifie no moko. So bail conditions are high with them 1 month money. We buy out them ube yenya ya dem bi. Me kwa mi oba besia MPP time. With them to moleste me nka me ye u me kwa ka mo se mo pese mbeti. Inti debe ne besi wo kenso. Obinya na me meti amene wo kasei. Yes. So why do you disgrace the country? You disgrace yourself like this. He should be able to come home because as long as ICE has determined some do not medical you fit. Me betina aka chem se ken ye fit mo se me boa. Me hunwe yiase anti dori na yiase my gizo yire. Ken no akeka ne shirt ahyemu. One know your organization won nante kwa apenda. He didn't look sick. And the eyes are confirmed so on sick intiane. So at the end of your year no krenye fe. Wakosa hospitali, amiako church or letter be sa won tiapo.
Oh, na sa hospital na call.
Me say eyes for and son on be detain you be determine say we fit or not.
Yeah, but that is almost a year.
Into call hospital ni wie yen ese wo be fie. Okay. O de mazempa cho obi ni mem dabi yen mo na mane. Na mado ene medu akwanya yi kanche na nado so make ne mrefie ne ni kine ya wo ye president nua wo ye former finance minister be cheche mu mpa de kronti SML no esiye because time a wo ye you no obi ani ho adwen a wo de ye no obi ani ho. You have your day in court. You stand in the witness box to be cross-examined, and even maybe if you are cross-examined na adwen a wo de ye no ebe pie sometimes the crab be the whole crata swa nentia se we chiri but it's me tie one asemo a be different. So why are you doing this to yourself and to the nation? You look so miserable. Why are you doing this? Why they one kwana yi o ma uche obia ni paseni en from my enko investigate wom ya franco fo bebre o party for your friend ko for bebre e die benti na wo koke kansem se wo say gu kro nani ma se che Ghana no kra no won respect Ghana sa wo ba se ya ye be how into usru na wo kenofuriata se ne obetifie dui ne do aba betu daily guide front page se usru so be ba Ghana. How can that be? I mean I just cannot wrap it around my head. So be Ghana. Whenever you be, we are in a democracy. At a time when we are 66 no crown pono. Send a Kwame Nkrumah person obefi. 1972. Kwame Nkrumah wrote a letter that he wants to come home. Obo huso bibe ni bibi. Ono crown pa you before the no koeza. Or dane saman twen ya wo tu kwan ya went me ama back biu. Inti wo say ade na de beyo. Obi is not nice.
No, me that say. I'm telling you. Saying Sunni Higher Sempa FM. Dr.Oko Boye bebem na any other business. But we say Obi, brilliant submission earlier by Dr.Oko Boye. But kindly ask him that as he goes around the region, who does the ordinary people on the ground tell him the NPP should bring? He should be honest in his answer, please. Greetings to Chairman Tinkaro and lawyer Ajemandria Ni Amasa Ewo Adentan. Hi Obi, special greetings to Nanaya Jantwa. Dr. Oko Boye is really a genius. Thank you. We free Jimmy Owusu Kwatin ono Ewo Virginia, US of A. We say Obi, Greetings to my newborn baby, Samira Adepa King Rashid, who was born on the 10th of January 2026. By the way, tell Nanaya Jantwa to focus on her failed government. Lamtekin Rashid, Ewatema, Gulf City.
He's still sleeping. How can you say then this is a failed government?
Mate. Dr. Oko Boye, any other business?
Omi, I think accountability is very important. Now, Mimi Nyanka, Orawoken for eta. Na wabagana. Sebi you. Ebi mu refi say ye kasa ekosu nyina Ken. Obi ambunu for like he's not been declared guilty in any court. People in Crawford Kanyama almost suspicions. Any cases omu kita omu free say ye ni kokota. Ebe joba ni say we DU. Ananye sa.
Yes.
But no court wa Ghana enka say oye convicted person. Obi Henry Jaba
Asempa FM.
No a businessman kese wo my way mu. Unim say oye one of the people na the case ever before mamina yekono no judges 3 na yekono sa ko de adojisa refen na the political power the establishment they no ma take power and narrative ni say inkrofo mo di Ghana boni businessmen or sebi o ma run Ghana o ma ye tam o ma Ghana wa chiro no o kan yes and inkrofo say papa we no e was saying ji omo ni ama yen fa santuso na yen hihye man no now that kind of political rhetoric e condemning inkrofo e chese omo ya konfo before I do mo akogina jejeni. That's what happened. Enti there is something a Ghana for Omar drink or when a government or a political establishment starts to determine who is guilty before they enter the court, the judge's life is even in danger. Because who is a judge? No more mukita to me as Sebio Chief Justice Kra or Mutimi uniform Mupegi no. Now a ikasani ni yanyina chese obidie or da jail dada. No, obi pure anima. Osi mashwe kratari nyemu. Obi no so. Such a judge, when you walk on the streets or drive, all is not well with you. And it's a Ghana for if you mean Cairo, Justice Sako Diabo, now Henry Jaba case count. Mean Kanda and I mean consider say Jerry John what is an open smart so kuma meno. Bayaka aji bia say when we are conform mobile mind. Mami judge we ahwe law say papa Kofi na we kasa hu omo say mami we na offering fa enu no bi di echi na judge no okokun no na Henry Jaba wan si kroma da no wo Europe till nyame e di friend no enti I agree fully with me senior Kwesi Pratt onya kwara last me tie no TV see onyanka a political party should not campaign. Our message crying say me ba corruption in Yamano, me be jailing Crawford. Also Nyanka. It's not something any party should do. Why? Because Uba Masana Wakasa. Say unyo bi kwa wabo krono anabibia. Why you argue say udi nipa kutum. So my point is say behavior be as of mine. I don't even mention names. You put it up. Power system 2024. I must be. Niema bia so we bia obi anka on kita adwin kra so to kwa ba on sa na chi no obi hu na ne busuafo aka say hwe wo yie obi yes because look Ayini is my senior brother me nishi gesino in fact me oye me bra panyi pa me fa no dia agro but na me bisa me say what is the strategy in who say for my information say oh case wey court is well and good but sometimes no obi tie presentation e wie no na kro no nyira social media I tell ya kai hwe sika dodo ani pa fa enti say we obi a we involved na ebo dia obi and say na obi enter church kra no na o man no half no we a convicted criminal enti say bi usu udam ho na and imagine say we cause now we Guinea now Guinea one can't actually say you have the option not to come back adia kroni na say we convicted criminal no we nipa be meet about him say
Kwame Nkrumah
Is it worth going back or I should hold on? Obi, but what I say. So, Mesre, me, I've seen 3 things are contributing to what is happening. The first one, public trial, no. Yebema, Niama Waye, I can say, it's a court of public opinion.
I'm saying, is a way as someone can on nipa.
Obi, yes, so one thing now, Ama Sebio, a woman Niama, the Bonkofua, who's a member Bonipadi, one senior lawyer, Cromway can say, Kenny and the Bush, and a member, Mamba.
Yes,
because
Bentel.
Yes, Obi, I had to say, maybe but some political elements were on my way. Sebio, I said the member money I didn't say, Ebia, what shall 1 meal come, what pure ama be cry. That's what will give them joy. It will share the level of aggression. I want to say, hey, now then they see, look, Obi, President Kufuor be a president of Ghana from 2017 to 2024. Obi, there are people who went through our law courts. Issues now, cases are trouble. They were worth millions of dollars. Body Saglemi was $200 million.
Yeah.
5,000 units. Every year about 2,000 or 3,000 units. Emma, as at the time, abandoned from there, just about 5 units or so. Obi, but Papa no involved. No, one day jail, one night. Didn't you know one day jail? Because he did to me the power to determine his sleeping place, bail condition, everything was given to a judge who is not a political appointee. Obi, I'm coming to the second reason why say Ghana. I say you the case too. So now who one shot you will not behave like a normal person. Yep, MP now involved in Sagrebi. One day jail, one night. Obi, the cost involved was $200 million. Say the SNC say on your case now assembly less than $100 million. Obel no is around $100 million. Now the MIA will say you don't appear normally before a judge who is not an appointee of a Kufuor or John Mahama. You are appearing before somebody who is a direct beneficiary of the government. Now, and you see, there is a reason why those who drafted the constitution take away the power to determine your sleeping place from a politician. You don't need to be a scientist or a complex mathematician, because say nana ya nipa obi edi ni bonipa na echi ono head of CID obi you case offer to the table so power to determine bail 1 week be the over chakakra say also ko dem yi also ko say what is saying
me menye say wonye bone dia unko
obi so
oye bone dia
if I am appearing before a judge obi judge wa call in the law 20 years at the bar called to the bench I'm a kind of background so the manager obi you can just go boy sorry who ko judge you obi me the film na my friend lawyer yeah conference so papa we ko kalo but obi you can say me appear before obi na me ko hwa President Mama buy na one appointment na isi okọ determine bail condition in body fasting obi fasting
we nya mumu ye western please enko ho de okeken da be so me mpene ma wo ka asi say da be no kura nka no kura so wa nko through the system me pacho say doc one go through the system amen can be because you don't know what people also went through
so obi who say na
obi agenda setting no
agenda setting o kasa no wa wan kasa
dem so nim say me kan no kure but the work can dey fa kwam
obuodudu amedi man na ya nti me glasses cry me ja o ka me pa studio am glasses ma je obi so say ka me kita me glasses but who show obi dey na on say o dey ja mo tell about to obi
answer nya me ma glasses we
oh, now you see, I'm trying to explain why Ebia looking simple. Nice, I had Diamobi. I said the first one, the political trial, the public trial. Into I said, pure. Look, a lot of people don't know Dr. Mimbodi, Dr. B, or you're one of the most celebrated orthopedic surgeons. Monsieur Adeono under him will confanochi. Now, Ghana, you know, I am Fanon Diagro. Utiminya serious back problem. Obi Abe refer say this oba no. No a CEO during John Mahama first administration. Sa doctor no mi ko ye program e wo Ulm Germany. Abrofofo e wo nyina no mu treat ye well. The only reason is say doctor no your mu colleague. Emma one doctor Professor Kraka tell me say odada no say mon ko Ghana nyina papa no mfi no ko ina enu ntini sometimes like no bofu kakra. That's how good he was. No a CEO for a particular agency and President Jandam Mama. No on film here. But I don't want to. Yes. Obi. Oko court for almost 8 years and harass. But Ghana for yes, Ghana for be because Yanya didn't like a political trial, like open public trial where engine weba bonti papa we contract we no ma ye skase de wemu nanso na nyina ye nsuo and amfa. You know what I mean?
That's all that me no press conference.
Oh, you don't get it. Get what the point I'm saying is Obi. Oh, nyabote. We are trying. You see, Obi, I started by saying, my wish and prayer that he will come back. And no. You see, Obi, say, my physician. No. Sure. When I see something happening, my first thing is to look at risk factors and what is causing it.
The medicine.
What I say? I know the rationality. Obi anka oye no anka o say no onye but I also not Dani. We must ask didn't Dani so that if we can do something about Sadi Dani what I say. So and that's why I started with the Henry Jabba say to the extent the public was so much polluted, say a justice lady was murdered because for the public that Henry Jabba man has robbed Ghana and his riches is at our ripping off. Yeah. And the judge looked at it and said, this Henry Jabba man is a businessman and what sweat here, why genuinely why sika. So please go free. And then they come at the woman. So I'm just explaining to you that the man I mentioned, the doctor, this man still, a lot of people don't know him because if he had been treating his treating Ken now, I can done any say, oh, doctor, we say no way. But what I say. Oh, and the second one. The first one, the public trial. The second one, giving the power to determine bail or your arrest or otherwise conditions to a political appointee and not the court. Obi, but what I say. Yes. And then the third one, Obi. Third one.
They say a love when I break it. 15 minutes.
Number of minutes.
Because I 5
Obi, the third one.
Dog, third one. Yeah.
A lot of people have not paid attention. But Obi, and be honest. The fact that you have a government now controlled, the executive controlled by a government, NDC party has come into government, their endorsement was overwhelming. They control executive. Yeah. Their control of parliament, the legislature is almost overwhelming too. Yeah. Obi, it was a big problem when they took steps to more or less be the one to determine the head of the judiciary too. I'm not going to the substance. But the point I'm making is that if whoever was there, Sebi, Uncle retire, no more choose Wanka, it's a natural course of things. To change the head of judiciary, no, Obi mean can't that, and I mean counsel that. Say head, you know, determine and manipulate judges. But the boss of an institution cannot be Sebi, irrelevant. Into Obi, look, this thing, if you go to international circles, so investor be back Ghana, no share the 3 arms. No, who's executive, no, Sebi, or a hand in who controls, who determines who administers over the judiciary. The inter fears in say government in India sema say a court judge is anima or best say one judge no will be whipped in line. So Obi, these are the 3 things. Now no, me can say sabo because hey I say no. Case na court judge na nim na ye bisa for one day judgment consider be your channel upon your taso. Yeah, chances are to say me Obi. Me wa no before about we buy no case back now you call for interpretation at the high court. Now high court rule here you call for interpretation at the supreme court. Not supreme court. Meanwhile yes in about attorney general. So the case no the lead or call no about Obi never say case you say we go school every day. Judge sometimes judge Obi ka jokingly say Obi so conjure so cross dey be this happen. So the point I'm making is that let's also watch our behavior whilst we have power. If some of the unnecessary noise avoid there ebema bibia look the true joy in accountability say Obi edani fie wa appear before a judge wa ko fie ye ready judgment no ya won say wade eboni e si fa sika bra na ko dance awam and no it's real triumph. It was made not on the wheels of noise. We follow the law. But you see, the answer the case probably starting. Sometimes I say case you can hear beginning charges. According to the merits. You appear before court. You court judge him. Now sometimes to me as an affair of your kai age say charges can say file is over. Make I because OSP. Obviously it looks like Kenya come back. Red alert. Obviously send a judge and say that cases were finally one in him, and so now the cases were what filed. So all I'm saying is that let's spend our energy in the courts. Let's spend more time on the docket. Let's be patient and go through the system. And when the judgment comes, and we've been told that someone must give us our money or must go to Sawam, we will all celebrate the goodness of God for exposing those who have done wrong to us. But prior to that, Kasani public trial in Yamano ember form, because all poison the atmosphere, people now assume that no matter what they do, you would harm them, so they will try to escape.
Ekosi is saying higher Senpai FM. It's exactly 7 p.m. Azame no wankabi.
Debi asamo kan meninyo.
Nasa wa kan de na.
Debi dem pese mche ni second no. Ada we above every human being in Ghana. Omo mo Ghana han. Won go through the process. We friend is saying okoki kan emfa kwan mu babia because your courts we are not in a coup d'etat. Your court adentina ono kwa ken nko ade esese yetimi create a certain atmosphere ye de mra ena ye adwuma wo Ghana mra na bi na beka ken otimase ken wonye right of kings wonye enye onu na omunya ahemfo princesses and princesses because mra ena obia de ye adwuma bail conditions ya de ye take your time to look at say bail conditions enye arbitrary. It is in the law. If in the past it was not being used, different. But I am one was so kono kase you de bia na attorney general baba be press conference. One more time, Godfred Odame dey press conference no anye.
Godfred Dame. And
my friend say,
Godfred
Dame o buy out me say na me nim cases ni bo na me nim ho hwe. Ayinum die. Cratch ya your friend say Japan nom dey wa mama me ho press conference.
Press release.
Response to release and conference and the same thing. It is all talking in the media. Even CNN crack say Epstein